It's fascinating to see which conservatives are totally fine with mayors and governors shutting down private businesses in the name of a national emergency. Don't get me wrong about the Chinese coronavirus. It's one thing for government to recommend social distancing. But make no mistake, it is an abuse of power for any government official to dictate that private enterprise stop. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio says this is an argument for the federal government to nationalize private industry. The mayor of Champaign, Illinois, signed an executive order giving herself power to ban the sale of firearms and ammunition because of the Chinese coronavirus. The governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, shut down privately owned restaurants and bars in the state. The mayor of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti, shut down gyms, bars, restaurants, wineries, nightclubs, movie theaters, and entertainment venues. And a lot of conservatives are defending Garcetti, saying, well, there's a long history in the United States of government using their powers to protect the public welfare in pandemics, even if that means violating people's constitutional rights. So that's where I want to start tonight. Is there precedent in our nation of government abusing their power during times of crisis? Of course. There was also precedent in the U.S. of segregation. Does that make it right? Heck no. This gives the left every incentive in the world to gin up mass panic and hysteria on any political issue, because now, even some conservatives who claim they support limited government have proved if they're fearful enough, they're willing to obligingly hand over their liberties to government officials in exchange for the perception of security. Do you think the left won't declare a national emergency on gun violence as an excuse for government to swoop in and take your guns? Do you think the Democrats won't declare a national emergency on climate change to give themselves extra power to impose socialism on us without our consent? Bernie Sanders already promised he would do that. And I know what my critics will say. If you don't support the government dictating that private commerce be stopped, you want to kill grandma. What a load of baloney. I have zero problem with individuals social distancing. If you own your own business, in fact, and you want to shut it down, go ahead. If you're sick, don't go to work. If your kid is sick, don't send them to school. If you're coughing and contagious, don't get on an airplane. Protect the elderly from germs. You should be doing this all the time. This shouldn't be a new concept to people. You should do this for the flu. You should do this for the Chinese coronavirus and every other contagious illness that can and does harm people. But to react now by allowing government, of all places, to abuse their power and close down private enterprise, which severely damages our economy, which is intrinsically tied to the humanity you claim to care about, destroying people's lives and livelihoods, is outrageous and dangerous. This doesn't mean we shouldn't address COVID-19. Of course we should. But government should not be allowed to forcibly close private businesses, hurting millions of people even in a pandemic. This is not controversial, except to people who've abandoned rationality.